The hype is real. Today, brands are everywhere, and everyone seems to just go with the flow and follow the trends. In the Philippines, we observe this through two influential industries, the basketball industry and the hip hop industry. The Philippines is the third largest market for Nike basketball shoes and is one of the two only countries with basketball as their primary sport. Hip hop culture has risen through streetwear brands that are the current fashion trend in this country and could be seen almost anywhere.
James Naismith, the person who invented the game of basketball, created a sport for people to play in during the winter in 1891. His main goal was to create a sport with less contact in order to counter the violence seen in sports such as American football. The sport promotes values such as structure, discipline, cooperation, beauty, and truth, which was seen in how the game of basketball was revolved around teamwork and camaraderie.
The NBA was one of the first professional basketball associations founded in 1946 and was made to merge with the ABA, another professional basketball league, which gave the NBA monopoly over the basketball market in the US. The rise of the popularity in the NBA was seen in the 1980s. This is when professional basketball became more focused on the individual rather than the team. An important factor in this rise was the leadership of Commissioner David Stern, who put the emphasis on marketing superstar players rather than teams. Current New York Knicks president Phil Jackson, a former NBA player and the Hall of Fame basketball coach, expressed the changes he has seen in basketball. He mentions how basketball has strayed away from its roots and how it is now focused more on the individual talent. In the era where the superstar player and the individual was put more focus on, companies such as Nike, Adidas, and Under Armour, to name a few, have hired big-name athletes to endorse their products and services. Based on the book King of the Court by Aram Goudsouzian, he stated that the corporations monopolize the popularity of basketball players and incorporate them in the development of their company, marketing specific brands, goods, and looks. Nike has secured the celebrity endorsements of high-profile athletes. With its Just Do It campaign and strong product, Nike was able to increase its share of domestic sports shoe business from 18% to 43%, from $877 million worldwide to $9.2 billion. The most profitable brand of Nike would be the Jordan brand line, which is now a billion-dollar brand. The sales from the Jordan brand since 2014 has risen from $2.4 billion to $4.2 billion in 2015, and this proves that Jordans have gotten increasingly popular since the 1980s when it started. On the other hand, LeBron James has done the same thing for Nike, earning $1 billion lifetime contract. However, LeBron's narcissism has been widely discussed by many basketball fans since he is dubbed as the King James and the Chosen One. Nike campaigns capitalized on this image and even incorporated the King James logo to their shoes and advertising material. In 2013, Under Armour was non-existent in the basketball sneaker market until they signed Stephen Curry to a multi-million-dollar deal to endorse their brand. As a result, the Under Armour company gained a 40% increase in sales after the impact of Stephen Curry signing. Under Armour was estimated to be worth $14 billion. In addition, Under Armour CEO Kevin Plank even said that he wants to build the Under Armour basketball line into a billion-dollar business with Curry as its face. This implies that companies such as Under Armour are capitalizing on the fame and profitability that come with Steph Curry's rise to stardom. Steph Curry was perceived as the underdog when he first entered the league, but now he's currently perceived as one of the most skilled players. His brag started to show from his advertisements and led to on-the-court gestures where he is known to taunt the other team after making baskets. Under Armour capitalized on this underdog story and added merch that focused on the self. Basketball today has strayed away from its essence of teamwork and has left a different impression to the viewers. Young players today focus on how to make themselves stand out as opposed to playing the game the right way.
Hip-hop started in the Bronx, New York City in 1973 when Clive Campbell, also known as DJ Kool Herc, and his sister Cindy Campbell hosted a back-to-school party in their apartment. DJ Kool Herc tried to play reggae music but his audience was unresponsive. He then thought of playing backbeats that people can dance to while he was emceeing to the crowd. This was the start of hip-hop. Hip-hop's rise to popularity was mainly because they had no means of mainstream entertainment, as unemployment rates for the black community were at the high. The U.S. Commission on Civil Rights found that during the recession of 1973 to 1974, 60 to 70% of laid-off workers were African American in areas where they were only 10 to 12% of the workforce. The beginning of commercial rap music began with the Sugar Hill Gang's Rapper's Delight in 1979. This became the first hip-hop single ever to reach the Billboard Top 40. It is seen through the first verse of the song that hip-hop still continued its purpose purely for entertainment. In November of 1981, MTV was launched, but it was only until 1983 when the blacks started to make an impact. This was also the year that hip-hop evolved from throw your hands down in the air escapism to what Chuck D would eventually describe as the Black CNN. During 1986 in one of their concerts, rappers Run DMC told everyone to take off their Adidas and raise them up in the air. The trio wrote a letter to their favorite shoe brand, and the next thing they knew, Run DMC became the first hip-hop act to be sponsored by a corporation, with a $1.5 million contract to be exact. The album's first single, My Adidas, was their first top R&B single and was written to pay homage to Adidas. 2 years later, MTV show Yo! MTV Raps, a 2-hour American television music video program, was created to show the whole world various hip-hop videos. The show was hosted by Fab Five Freddy, Dr. Dre, and Ed Lover, all of whom are rappers and pioneers in the hip-hop industry. Transitioning to the late 1990s, the public began to realize that hip-hop was much more than a fad, and so more and more money was funneled into what was becoming a highly commercial and successful business enterprise. It was when Ready to Die's Big Papa and One More Chance cracked the Billboard Top 10 in 1995 that the genre's materialist aspirations attracted Madison Avenue's attention, with hip-hop culture prominently displayed by all-American brands from Sprite to Tommy Hilfiger in ad campaigns in the mid-90s. One could even arrive to the conclusion that MTV's decisions are based solely on capitalism because of how everything could easily be sold. Suddenly, they had the ultimate say when it comes to what is cool and what is not. Not only did they fuse with the attitude that the rappers had, but it also emphasized the rappers' desires. MTV did not force the commercialization of hip-hop. It only supported even more the drastic shift towards materialism. Hip-hop grew from being a mere musical genre to an actual industry. It could be described as a style that can be marketed in endless ways. MTV was also treated as a public political forum wherein ideas were expressed frequently. When Adidas collaborated with a number of celebrities such as Kanye West and Pharrell Williams, the company's net sales increased by 18% year over year. Gross margin expanded by 30 basis points because of their product pricing. Net income increased by 41% year over year. The company's share price escalated by 67%, and Adidas was the best performing stock on the German DAX index for a second year in a row. The collaboration of Adidas with Kanye was especially successful because of the brand Yeezy. After all, Kanye is included in the 100 most influential people of Time magazine and is proof of his clout and pull not just in the sneaker community but in the entire music industry as well. The Yeezy 350 Boosts sold 918 pairs on eBay just within the first 48 hours after its release. Yeezy collection saw its sales grow 45% in the fourth quarter.
The Yeezy Boost 350, which is one of the latest trends in fashion, is part of a new category in the global apparel industry. This is known as athleisure, or in other words, sports inspired. Its definition, casual clothing meant to be worn both for exercising and for general use, is heavily endorsed by both basketball players and hip-hop artists. It has been the lone star in a waning apparel industry with an estimated market size of $44 billion in the US alone, and is even predicted to grow up to $83 billion by the year 2020. In the desire of corporations to boost sales, they allow their media partners to capitalize on human insecurities as a form of branding through commodification of celebrity endorsers that ultimately lead to the perpetuation of narcissistic culture. They also use this as an advantage to earn money and capitalize on the insecurities of their consumers. While buying their products temporarily make us feel good or temporarily divert our minds from our insecurities, in reality, it does not necessarily solve the root of our problem. In philosophy, we learn that real happiness is not about feeling good, but is about doing the right things in search for the truth. This kind of behavior also generates noise not only through the unnecessary clutter in society, but divert our attention from our natural inclination towards the truth. Lastly, these corporations, through the creation of noise, just like what we learned in the communication cycle, disrupts the essence of how things are really meant to be. This noise does not only take away the essence of the things that influence us, but also disrupts us from knowing the essence of what it really means to be human beings.